I'm Jordan.
I'm Matt. Welcome to Board Engineers.
Alright, so the first thing we want to do on this hot chisel we're working on here is pick it up the right direction. I want to drive that tip into the metal itself to get some material built up. So, using the hammer and the tongs here, I want to grab it on the angles here and drive it back into itself. That's the direction we want to go with it.
Okay, first we're gonna brush off. Don't want any impurities in. I just about got Jordan with that real quick.
So, had we been aiming to forge weld, that would have been great, but that was not what we were going for. So we were really close to burning the steel there.
So yeah, we're gonna keep moving the material, which should be really easy as hot as it is. Which it was a little too easy. We're forming stuff a little more than I wanted to, but
Hot spark
that's
in the
why
shoe.
you don't wear shorts.
Or tennis shoes.
Yeah, or tennis shoes. Woo! That was a little warm. Back in the fire we're going since I decided to burn myself. You can see it. This is a hot piece of metal that I flung off that piece of steel that we were hitting. So yeah, it burnt me a little bit. So this is why you're supposed to wear jeans, but I'm not always the brightest when it comes to wearing pants in hot situations. Okay, well, since we got everything a little too hot, I'm gonna straighten this back out a little bit after I brush it, of course. I'm trying to forget things today.
So you want to make sure you brush your steel off all the time. The scale melts hotter than steel does, so if you don't brush it off, you work it into the piece, and then you basically ruin the parts.
Okay, so now since we're back more in the right direction, I'll put it back in the heat and we'll get some more movement and thicken that up a little bit more. Oh, Jordan, quit throwing the brush way away from our material.
We need a table.
We do. Or we need a holder for your brush on this next to your anvil, but
Don't you forget where it's at.
I really need a beer assistant.
That's heavier than the brush.
Yeah, but beer's better.
I'll just get mine.
Of course you would. Okay, back in the fire. Look at this. Brush on the ground again. Thanks, Jordan. This way is so we can get a wider head on our hot chisel. No more brush. We're gonna brush.
Oh, look who's got a brush now.
Imagine that.
You want a second one? Let me help you out.
I'll smack it. Got hot steel here that I throw on the ground because somebody's interrupting me. Couldn't imagine who that would be.
You know, if you use the tongs that I bought just for this purpose, your life would be easier.
You have tongs for this purpose?
I do.
You're a terrible person for not telling me this.
I've shown you them twice today.
Back in the heat. Too much beer. These are not the tongs Jordan told me to use. I just like these tongs. But you know what he didn't leave on the bench again for me? A brush. So we're gonna straighten this back out a little bit. It's amazing how these nice tongs work at and am informed about them. But they're not the ones Jordan told me, just some other random ones.
That conveniently fit 5/8 stock.
Imagine that. So right now I'm starting to work the flat end out, the hot chisel. So I moved a lot of material down. One thing to make sure is give it even hit so that way it works evenly. Well, now I'm cool, so definitely want to put back in and get some more heat.
Look at all the brushes on the ground.
I keep working this tip out with the hot chisel. If Jordan will ever stop messing around and actually work for a change.
I'm keeping that scale off.
Whatever you gotta tell yourself to sleep at night there.
Disappointing effect. Have I mentioned I'm sick of filming videos by myself? It's his turn to do a lot of the work. Just to take a little of the thunder away. Well, you know, I couldn't let you actually finish a project on your own, could I?
That's why we're building me my own forge here pretty soon. Somebody has control issues.
This first heat, we're gonna start marking where we're gonna actually punch the eye for his hammer here.
Hot chisel.
That looks pretty sharp. Back in the heat. All right, heat number 2. See the spot?
Yeah.
Right there. Cool it off. Perfect. So that's what it should look like as your plug starts to come out. He's got that lined up absolutely perfectly. So we'll get it back in the forge. Next heat, we should be able to drop that plug. All right, since this is the last heat, we're going to do it over the hardy hole so the slug comes out.
And there it is.
There it is. It's still attached, but it's free. We'll drift that out just a little bit so he can get a piece of rebar in it that he wants to use for a handle. Straighten it out, and that's going to be our hot chisel once it's ground, I guess. All right, he's just straightening out his handle here. We deformed it pretty good. He wants to use the brush first.
Not that brush though. I don't like that brush. Drift a little bit larger hole so that way the handle will fit in easier.
Matt's just going to go ahead and drive this punch I made a little, well, once he finds the stake.
Well, there it is. Somebody decided to bury it in a whole bunch of fresh coal.
Well, you know, it's good for you.
He's pretty good at doing that. He does that to me about every other time.
We're going to drive that same punch I made through it. The punch I made is a punch/drift was the idea. I've got a two-step drift system I'm working on. So he's just going to drive that back through to open the hole up a little bit more. And I guess I'm going to give him a hand.
That's probably going to be a big enough hole so that we can put our handle in there. Okay, so now Jordan was nice enough not to bury it this time. I think that was on accident.
Not for lack of trying.
That was definitely on accident, I guarantee you. I've known Jordan a few years and that was definitely not on purpose. Grind out the rest.
Here's where we got today, guys, on this hot chisel. Next video, we're going to put a handle on it, grind it out, followed by heat treat. So stay tuned. Please comment and like this video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and check out some of our other videos. Thanks. Catch you on the next one.